Las Vegas, so innovative, right? Wait, is that the right word?
Innovative.
Innovative.
Yeah,
they have come up with an idea of a way that you can dispose of your legal marijuana at the airport before you get on an airplane to fly home somewhere that may not recognize marijuana as being legal like they do in Nevada. So Nevada recognizes weed to be legal. So if you're smoking it,
it does.
And you,
I didn't know Nevada was one of the states.
And you come to the airport and you still have a little weed on you. You don't want to just throw that in the garbage, right? No, let's get a weed receptacle. Here's the story from the Las Vegas television station. All right, here it is.
Recreational marijuana is legal in Nevada, but you can't take pot to any airport property. That's why even before you go through those doors, you're going to see green bins like this. This is where you're supposed to drop off your pot.
McCarran International Airport recently installed 13 of these bins to be used as drop-off boxes for marijuana and other drugs.
All right, my first question is, well, after everybody drops their weed in there that nobody's going to drop in there, but if they did, where does this weed go?
I love
Who
this.
gets the weed? So they've designed the...
I do, man.
they designed the green boxes that you would dispose of your weed into before you get it on an airplane. Like a mailbox, like you can't reach in with your arm. It's very, it's a deposit only. There's no way you're going to get in there and grab it. Plus they're going to have, airport security watching it. And this gal talks about it right here just a little bit.
But if you're thinking anyone can just walk up to the boxes and take whatever is inside, management tells us that's impossible. You can't get your hands in there and reach in. The boxes are also bolted to the ground and are constantly monitored by airport personnel.
So, and then they have a disposal service, they say, a disposal service that comes and discards the marijuana.
You think that those garbage men are like fighting over that route?
Yeah.
I get the airport today, dude. I get the airport.
You son of a
I get the airport today.
Give me that airport route, damn it. Give it to me. Oh, genius. Oh, come on. If they want to get rid of their weed, just throw it in the garbage. Why do we have to make a big deal about this? Like, and nobody's gonna throw their weed away anyways. They're gonna keep it, or they're gonna give it to somebody, or they're gonna be like have one hell of a last, get high as hell before they get to the airport.
If you get busted on airport property, that's federal
right.
jurisdiction, right? So then you're subject to the laws of that jurisdiction.
Wait, you're telling me people don't smoke? I mean, I went to France with a guy who,
took weed with him.
I know. I've talked to people that have traveled to other countries that, they either put it in like brownies or cookies, and then they put it in like a Tupperware thing, and it had a little note on it. Hey, Tommy, hope you enjoy your brownies on your trip. Love, Grandma. And then it was just weed brownies, Or I had other friends that like, this is my favorite. They like shaved it up like it's oregano, and they put it in those little Ziploc snack bags, and they put it in a case, and they're like, oh yeah, well, I'm doing a lot of cooking when I'm over there, so I'm gonna got my oregano and my parsley and. I have another friend that said that he's convinced that as long as you put it in your shave kit, like in your deodorant, your shave cream and all that kind of stuff, in that little kit that you carry as a guy, that he never gets checked.
You go to Mexico on a regular basis. It's still highly illegal in Mexico, isn't it?
I don't know, maybe. I'm trying to.
I wonder how people smuggle. I went to Mexico years ago. I mean, we're talking about the early '90s, okay? And some of the people that we met down there, we went to Cancun. Some of the people we met down there actually snuck weed from Jersey to Cancun. But I can't. I mean, you know what? We're asking the question right now. And I'll come back and tell you how they smuggled the weed. But we're asking the question right now. What lengths have you gone to in order to smuggle weed on a vacation? Because there are people and there are places that you go. Now, I don't know about France. You said your buddy did it to France.
Yeah, he went to France. I was freaked out about that. I'm like, I think you're crazy.
Is it legal?
Now, Mexico, I mean, you're going to go through, you go through their customs. But, dude, I've been going there. I don't even want to say this, so Jinx, man, I need to knock on some wood. I've been going there for like 20 years. Mm-hmm. And I've never, and you know how it works, right? You hit remember
button,
that?
Yeah.
It's still, the button's fancier, and the light's LED now, but you hit the button, and I always get the green light. I have never gotten the red light.
Well, even if you get the red light, what do you have to hide?
Then they start digging through your stuff.
I know, but what do you have to hide?
But when
I've taken stuff,
the first time I went to Mazatlan in 1995, They just dumped this girl in front of me. They opened her suitcase, her bags. They dumped everything all over this table, and they just threw her bag on the ground, and they dug through, they kind of sifted through it, and they're like, "No, go ahead." And then she had to put her all, she was crying because she was just devastated. I'm like, well, God, it's okay. You're fine. Just here. I helped her and put it back in there. I helped her, and she wasn't even cute.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's what kind of a guy I am. I'm a nice guy.
Do you have to touch her skivvies?
No, I didn't. I don't know if I did or not. I was just kind of
That's what I would be mortified for. I'd be like, oh, great. Now everybody can see my underwear everywhere.
Well, a guy's underwear has got holes in it. I'm sure girls' underwear is nice. 543.
You should know because you had you were up close and personal with it right there.
543-3693 are the numbers to get in.
Handling the skivvies at the customs in Mexico.
That was like 20 plus years ago now.
What lengths have you gone to in order to sneak weed into your vacation or on your vacation? God, these girls from New Jersey, I could not. I mean, you won't believe what they did.
Well, I'm visually starting to think about things that people do to sneak drugs.
And they shared with us, and they didn't tell us until after. Justin says, "Don't do it because if you sneak weed on vacation, you can get in a lot of trouble."
And you can buy it there, right?
Yeah, I remember I was on a road trip once with a bunch of guys that smoke weed, and we got caught in a couple snowstorms up and down the West Coast.
Was this the RV trip?
So we actually, so on the way down, we got stuck in Medford, Oregon, and on the way back, we got stuck in Medford, Oregon. And these guys, I mean, keep in mind, this is in the early 2000s, okay? They're like, well, let's just go play pool somewhere, and then we'll find somebody that smokes weed. And because they needed weed, because they'd ran out of weed, because we got stuck in snowstorms and we were stuck in an RV, and you're on vacation, you're in college, and they ran away. And it was surprising. They walked in and they could tell right away. It was like, it's like they say, gay people have gaydar. Weed people have weedar. Like they walk right up to a guy, and within 5 minutes they're out in the parking lot scoring a lid. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? Yes, I did just drop score a lid like it's the 70s because it's my favorite weed term of all time. But Justin says don't ever buy it. That you should always. Don't ever sneak it. You should always buy it wherever you go.
But you don't know the quality or what you're getting, right? Like if you're in another country, I don't know. Is it anything good? I mean, California's got some pretty good weed, right? Like I've had a little California weed. I've had some Washington State weed. Washington State weed's better now because it's legal and they've got all the medical grade type stuff going on. But you remember the stuff back when we were in college. It was just crap. It's crap.
Depends on who your supplier was.
Whoever we were hanging out with.
My dad didn't mess around with crap, I'll tell you that.
I never hung out with your dad.
Little black box behind the Wi-Fi there.
Some of the stoners that had it in college.
Not Wi-Fi.
I guess maybe we didn't have, friends that really knew what they were doing because it was always crap and I was never into it. But, you go to other countries, is it going to be good? Is it going to be is it going to be, like good quality stuff or is it going to be?
So these girls from New Jersey, when we were down in Cancun, they asked us if we want to.
Partake.
We're like scared because it's Mexico and we don't want to get caught. And we're like, well, let's.
Where were you at again? Cancun.
And
were you at the bar scene or were you on the beach or where were you?
This is our hotel room because their hotel room was right across from our hotel room. And we were like, okay, well, let's go over to your hotel room and do it because we didn't want to get busted and we wanted to make a dash.
Get in your room.
And they're like, we're in there, we're smoking and they're telling us. I was like, hey, how'd you guys get this, by the way?
Shouldn't ask that question.
We brought it down with us. Like, how?
Wow.
How'd you bring it down with you? Because, if they would have found this in your suitcase, then you would have been horribly busted. They put it in a Ziploc bag, and one of the girls, all the way from New Jersey to Cancun on that flight, had it in her butt crack the entire time. And I'm like, dude. And she tells us this afterwards. And we're like, okay, we're cool. We don't need to smoke anymore. And I got horribly sick after that. But
they had it in a plastic bag,
I think
right?
I got horribly sick because I was just in Mexico type thing. I mean,
I had this in my cheeks. That is just...
Yeah, and I said, how?
And
she said,
so
it was just lined in there, like anything else.
Like anything else? Maybe that's what the thong is good for. That little string that holds,
I mean, you think about it, the thong string actually goes in the same place where the weed bag goes.
I don't want to talk about it. This is like, I don't know. This is really not the conversation I want to have. Veronica says, in a good jar of peanut butter next to the bread and jelly and other snack items for the ride. So peanut butter is very strong. So I could almost see that. And you screw the top. So you get it like in a Ziploc bag or something, and then you put it inside the peanut butter jar, and then you tighten it up. I can see that working.
Did you hear what this woman in Texas did? She was a crackhead, so it makes total sense. Apparently, she was going to get busted for shoplifting, and she was also smoking crack. So she had this is where she would like to put her crack paraphernalia, her drug paraphernalia, was in her butt cheeks, in case she was to get caught or get searched because she was going around stealing things from drugstores. And in order to thwart them in finding the crack pipe in a search, in the police cruiser on the way, she let go. She let it go.
She pooped her pants?
She let it go like Elsa from Frozen.
Let it go! Let it go! Yeah, if I'm a cop, I'm like, dude, I don't care what she's got in there. I'm not looking for it. Somebody wrote in, they said that they don't vacation because we live where others vacation. That's such a silly phrase, but
why is that
I know
silly?
people are proud of it. But then she says, but when we do vacation out of town, her husband hides it in the vents, in bathrooms, in the fan vents.
Smart.
And I'm like, well, that's not sneaking it anywhere. And why are you hiding it there? And Jeff says, because housekeeping might find it.
Because what are you going to... Listen, my dad had a bunch of weed stolen from him when I was a kid, and I asked him. I said, "Well, how come you're not going to file a police report?" He's very smart about it. He's like, "You can't."
Out of a hotel room that he was staying in?
No,
they went into his bag.
It was out of his car.
Yeah, if you just leave it in your suitcase, the housekeeping's not going to see it. If you leave it out on the bedside table, then they'll see it.
Naive
What,
little
do you think
man.
they're going through my stuff?
Sometimes.
No, that's why you tip them.
Listen, I have friends.
You tip them on the first day good, and then they take care of you.
No, because then they know you're rich, and they say, "Oh, what else does this guy have in his wallet?"
I don't know if $5 is rich, but
in his suitcase. Listen, I've had friends that have worked for the airlines, and I've had friends that have worked in fields in which all hospitality fields. I mean, I lived by the airport, so everybody I knew growing up, they worked in hospitality fields. And they would always check out other people's belongings, okay? So, yes. And weed is not something you're going to report. So, I had friends who, remember, I'm not a weed smoker, but a lot of my friends are, okay?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Remember, I would, walk away with, handfuls of change from the valet stand? They would walk away with other things from the valet stand, okay? Like grips of other things, and the people could not say anything about. What are you going to do? File a police report for some weed stolen? You can't do that.
See, you just made me not ever want to valet park my car because I know that the valet's going through my stuff.
Because they're going to steal all your weed.
See, now if I'm going to valet park somewhere, I got to take everything out of my car.
So Gretchen's very smart
Gretchen's
husband's very smart for hiding the weed in the ceiling fan in the bathroom. Or not now, because we're talking about it. Now housekeeping's going to check that ceiling fan.
It's ridiculous to me. That's your hotel room. You could keep it in the drawer.
And have housekeeping take it. And what are you going to do? You're going to say, "Hey, you get up here. Did you take my weed?" I'm filing a police report.
Well, you can't now because it's legal, I guess. Veronica says she puts it in her peanut butter jar, and that helps mask the smell. And Justin says you should just, get it when you get there because it's not worth it.
That's the best way to go about it.
We got somebody else on hold here. Go ahead, man.
Well, we were on a family cruise, and me and my brother got off at one of the ports in Mexico, and we went and bought a bunch of fireworks. And I bought, little harmless ones, like black cats and random little ones. And then my brother got a quarter stick of dynamite. And when we were going back to the boat, they profiled me and searched me because of the way I looked. And my brother looked like a preppy kid.
Mm-hmm. Like
and
Zach Morris.
I got popped. They took all my parts. He got on the boat with that quarter stick of dynamite.
What did he do with it? Did he light it off on the boat?
No, my mom found it and threw it overboard.
It's like, damn it, Mom, let's light it before we throw it overboard.
So many levels of security you got to pass.
We were going to save it and, and use it when we got back to California and, do something with it. But she found it. She chucked it. She was pissed.
Well, maybe your mom saved your brother's hand or something.
Exactly. Probably, yeah.
What is you remember
You
what
can
a
get
quarter...
through customs, but you can't get past mom.
M1000. M1000.
What does an M1000 go for in Mexico?
It's probably only like $10 or $20.
Yeah,
back
wasn't
then.
much,
I don't know what it goes for
You have to
now.
barter the price of that.
Yeah.
You're like, he's like, they start off at 50, and you start off at 5, and you meet somewhere in the middle.
Are we more likely to trust a quarter stick of dynamite from Mexico or a joint from Mexico?
A joint, definitely. A joint.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Yeah.
I think I trust their weed more than
those things are made. Those M80s and stuff. You hear about them going off all the time.
Oh, yeah.
That dynamite, I told him he was an idiot. I was like, you're going to blow your hand off. He was like 16, just stupid.
Yeah, thanks for the call, buddy. Have a good day.
Preston's writing in on the 805 beer text line. He says that his buddy once sent him weed from Hawaii by taking the inside of a candle, like a vanilla candle, carving it out, putting the weed inside the candle, remelting the candle around the weed
Oh, I see.
with like some heat of some sort.
Yeah, yeah.
And then probably just leave it outside.
Probably
Hawaii,
just
right?
took the stuff he dug out, remelted it down, poured it in there, let it cool, and then... That's a good
and then
idea.
and then shipped it to him as a gift. It's a gift because everybody knows that guys like candles, especially vanilla candles.
Like, what's going on in Hawaii that you have to have Hawaiian weed? Is it really that good?
Oh yeah,
The Maui Wowie?
Yeah.
The Maui Wowie's that
No,
good?
seriously, like.
And it's like you gotta...
Why do you think Hawaiians are so chill, man? Like at all turns, Hawaiians are like the coolest people in the world. They're like, it's cool.
Hey, where do you hide your weed when you go on vacation, Seth?
If you were to hide weed,
I can neither confirm nor deny. It's like I don't even know what to do anymore. Now, like it's so out in the open. It's like I grew up having to hide it and all that stuff like that. It's like, what do you do anymore?
what's going to come down to is old school people like us.
Well,
we're going to still continue to hide it, and old people and young people. It's just going to be one of those things that young people can continue to make fun of us for, like not having to type www before the address on the.
We have a mutual friend that's in law enforcement, and we were at a concert, and it's going to come by sooner or later. And I look at him, what do you even do anymore?
Yeah,
just sit there, I guess, right?
Just let it be.
But
when you're off the clock, you're off the clock, I guess.
I don't know. I think the closest I came to hiding it or not, I in my pocket. In the old days, it was like it was 2000, I think. And
Jeff smoked weed out of a girl's butt crack. Well, not quite in that order, but
I was gonna
she
say,
took it out of her butt
really?
crack.
she took it out.
Did she get burned? Yeah, really. Okay. Yeah, you gotta.
Then told me afterwards, by the way, that wasn't my butt crack all the way from
Afterwards,
New Jersey.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, I
Seth.
never hit it. Well, actually, there was one time
Seth's having a good time, and he's comfortable now.
I flushed it away because it was like I'm not going to even take the chance of screwing up the trip.
That's too bad. That was a really funny joke, and we just couldn't let it air.
No, it was a really funny joke.
This is Jeremy. He's been holding on for the show. I just want to ask him a question. Jeremy, do you hate it when do people ever call you Jer Bear?
Only one person.
Yeah, that drives me nuts.
Was it your
makes
wife?
me feel like an insufficient, inadequate man.
Well, probably only women call you that, right?
Yeah, does your wife call you Jer Bear?
No, my wife doesn't.
Oh, you see, my wife doesn't either.
Well, who
It's
does?
another friend that is a girl, though.
Yeah. Girls seem to think they can call us Jeremy. Lindsay used to call me Jer Bear, and I used to hate it. Lindsay used to work with us here a long time ago. She was younger, and she called me Jer Bear, and it just drove me nuts.
Because you look like a Care Bear. You're just like
What are you trying to say? I'm plump like a Care Bear?
grumpy Care Bear.
Yeah,
I guess.
exactly.
Is
And
there
you're
even
kind of greenish.
I would be
bluish.
grumpy
I
or
always,
angry.
I always
angry.
mix up my Care Bears and my dwarfs. I don't know who takes on
Your
what
Smurfs.
and characteristics.
Well, he should never share this information either, right?
I forgot what the
Right,
actual
Jer Bear?
question was. Oh, where I would hide my stash in
Yeah.
a hotel room.
I think you said in the drawer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
horrible hire.
or in my suitcase.
I can't wait to go to Jeremy's Easter egg hunt.
His egg out in the middle of the yard.
Just
Yeah.
pick up the egg and say, "I found it." There you go.
He just hands out the egg.
It was funny
not
because
cool.
when I was a kid, you speak of Easter egg hunts. My brother was 4 years younger than me, and so when he was about 5 or 6, and I was 10 or whatever, my mom would put little wax on certain eggs, and I was allowed to find those, but I wasn't allowed to touch the ones that were in plain view because my brother
The easy
needed
one.
to have a shot.
Yeah. Or the littler kids,
Yeah.
need that. Well, it's funny because back in my day, I would hide it. Like I would get some and then like make little stashes and hide them. And then
Your weed or Easter eggs?
The weed. No, I'm sorry. I went back to weed and forget.
Forget where you put it.
Yeah,
That's what
But
Jeremy
that's
does
kinda
now
the
with his
idea.
weed. So because he doesn't want to forget where he put it, so he just puts it in the drawer.
And then you find it's like a big bonus.
You don't want to stick it in the hotel ceiling fan because then you'll forget about it.
I don't have any weed,
man.
dude.
You'll
Yeah,
forget about it, man.
Jeff, you're so naive. It's like you don't even people don't even smoke weed anymore. It's all like in a vape pen. It's all like water vapor or like wax
that you
or,
store in your drawer.
You know, it's like nobody actually has weed in the
game
game.
Why
has
not?
changed.
That's fun, man. Old school weed.
I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe people
Sandwich
still do
baggies.
have
Yeah,
weed.
just be careful every time you see a bowl of gummy bears. Don't just start eating them.
Mm-hmm. Now.
I mean, I've seen the edibles look like
I
that
love
now.
gummy bears too. That could really screw up your day.
You're weak.
Or a few days.
I was.
What'd you do Tuesday through Thursday? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
I have no idea.